Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi. Welcome to our third podcast together. This is Jack and
Hi.
I'm Kai Ling. And we haven't got a name for this podcast yet.
Yep.
So if you have any suggestions, as usual, please leave them down in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. As well as any topic you'd like us to talk about the real estate industries in Singapore.
Yeah.
So today, Jack, let's talk about horror home stories.
Talking about horror stories, okay. How long have you been in the industry, actually?
I've been in the industry for a while, but as an active agent, it's been 2.5 years, two odd years.
It's about the same. I mean, mine is slightly longer. Okay, mainly I was doing is actually resale agents. When we are dealing with the owners, there will be history for each individual house. I mean, if you're checking from HDB lease or title deed, you are able to find or spot some of the old houses. There will be some people who will pass on inside the house.
That means they died in the house.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I encounter a few. So, okay, as an agent, the first thing we got to do is actually to check on the history first to make known to the buyers if it's necessary when the buyer actually asks about the history. So let's say for my case, the brother actually told me that the owner of the house is actually passed on inside one of the rooms, and there's no one actually taking care of the house. A lot of random things inside the room. So the first thing I actually addressed to the brother is actually to clean up the house and do a fresh coat of paint. And okay, comes to the viewing. So the buyer's agent actually got asked me, because the house is left with, I think it's about 57 years of balance lease. So the buyer's agent actually asked me if there's any history I should know about. So I do share with them about the history because the brother actually passed on inside the room. But for the new buyer, they don't really mind about this house, and they find the location itself is quite nice and it's within their budget. Eventually we sold the house to the buyer and they're very happy, and they did their own renovation. So far nothing happens. But I do have one story. That is from my colleague previously.
Okay.
He shared with me that he got one house sold, but every single time when he enter into the house, he can sense something a little bit eerie. And there's one night, it's about 8:30. I guess it's around that time. He went in and turned on the light. He sensed someone is laying on the flooring.
On the floor, the bedroom floor?
Yes, correct. No, it's in the living room.
Living room floor.
He specifically described it as in between of the, because it's a 3-room, and there's a door in between of kitchen and also the living room.
Okay.
So there's someone who is laying in front of the entrance to the kitchen. But when he actually glanced through, there's actually a white skeleton. So that kind of paranormal activity I've never encountered before. So
my question is, he went into the house during the Hungry Ghost month?
no, it's actually not. So
okay. Yeah, some people are more acute towards that kind of
That's right.
that kind of things.
That's right.
Myself, I've not encountered, thankfully, any paranormal activities at the
So what's the worst case? I mean, for your.
So for mine is that I had a case where I took over a house from a foreclosure sale. That means the bank took over to sell the house. It was from a person who actually had some mental issues. He has a mental problem. So unfortunately, when we entered the house, we had some issues opening the door of the house to begin with.
Okay.
When we managed to open the door of the house, what greeted us was this very scary looking mask on top of a few chairs.
Okay.
I think on top of a chair, and then trying to scare us like it's a USS Horror Nights like that.
Okay.
Halloween Horror Nights.
So it's actually done by the owner?
It was done by the one with mental issues.
I
so
see.
It was an unfortunate thing that the house was in such a state. When we entered, we could see there were bottle of pills, used tissues,
Wow.
there were food that was half eaten with
So it's
ants all
full of
over.
rubbish
It's full of
inside.
rubbish. There was hair all over the place because he actually had a stray dog in the house.
Okay.
The house was in a very very bad state. You can see stains on the kitchen,
Wow.
stains on the toilet.
So it's basically unsellable, I mean, status, right?
Well,
I
if
should
you
say
bring
that.
anyone to that house, immediately they will just say no lah. I can tell you, because first impression matters. When we went in as agents, our impressions were really not
For
good.
sure.
So thankfully, what the other owner did, the one that was a bit more stable, the other owner just cleaned up the house, made it more nicer, give the house a fresh fresh coat of paint.
All right.
Send the dog to SPCA as well.
Okay, good.
And yeah, we managed to sell the house actually above valuation in the
Okay,
end.
fantastic.
Yeah, but
That's a great job.
I can put.
刚才我们是在哪里？
So
you apply a fresh coat of paint.
The wife gave the house a fresh coat of paint, and then clean up the whole house lah. And then we actually sold it above valuation.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, because the house actually had a very good view. It was overlooking Yio Chu Kang landed home.
So my experience and also Kai Ling's experience, the seller's agent is responsible to make known to them, to let them know about the situation, if it's a history or if it's anything others, and they can ask, right?
Well, I would think that as a first step, if you are looking to buy a house, is always to check the history of the house lah. So be it someone unfortunately passed away in the house, or why is the seller selling? Maybe it's because it's a bankruptcy sale, or maybe it's because the couple is no longer together, or they are looking to upgrade. Could be a simple thing as upgrading, wanting to stay near the parents anyways.
Right.
So our horror story is not every home's horror story anyways.
Exactly.
It's just this few unique experience that we experienced in our career, but I'm very sure we're going to experience more. More to
for
come.
sure. But my stance is that as a buyer, if you have different belief system and if you feel like you are okay with the location, and certainly as long as you are not paranoid with the house situation, I mean the history of the house, you can just go ahead with it, because I have happy buyers so far. There is no issue with the house. I mean the house that I sold to them, they're very happy with it.
I had viewings where the buyers came and knew about the history of the house and they didn't want.
Yeah.
No wrong. There's really no wrong, no right
wrong
about this. It's your personal choice. So finding the right house for you is important. But also adding on, we want to talk more about beautifying your house for
That's
viewing. That horror home that I had really emphasized the importance of giving a first impression on the house.
That's right.
So sometimes giving a fresh coat of paint, cleaning out the clutter really makes a different impression to your home.
Yes, that could actually create something that for buyers to know that after dressing up the house, it is still very decent in the sense of condition, and also what will it be like after they move in, and that actually create a lot of impact to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually that's it for our horror stories right now.
Yep.
If we have more horror stories, we maybe do another video like this.
Yeah,
again.
you can also share your horror story in the house hunting down below in the comment and let us know.
Okay, so that's it for now. My name is Kai Ling, this is Jack.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.